Hello viewers, in today's video, we will summarize all the analysis that we have done for a reinforced concrete beam section with steel on tension as well as compression side. We started with looking at effect of compression steel on moment carrying capacity of a beam. So in this example, we had a beam of 230 by 500 mm where 500 mm was effective depth and not overall depth. We had 3 bars of 12 mm provided on the tension side of bending and 2 bars of 8 mm were provided as anchor bars. These anchor bars help in holding up shear reinforcement, which is also called as stirrup. We will look at how the shear reinforcement is designed and what is its purpose in later classes. But the shear reinforcement or stirrup looks something like this. So it goes around all the longitudinal bars. On compression side, these two bars that hold this stirrup in position are also called as anchor bars. We calculated moment of resistance of this section without giving consideration to presence of these two anchor bars, and that moment of resistance turned out to be 57.46 kilonewton meter. And at that time, the location of neutral axis from extreme compression fiber was at 74 mm. Then we analyze the same section by giving consideration to presence of this compression steel, and the moment of resistance of this section turned out to be 58.32 kilonewton meter, and the neutral axis from extreme compression fiber at that time was at 60 mm. So we had striking observations here. When the area of compression steel was randomly provided without its consideration in design equations, then the increase in moment of resistance was marginal. So as you can see, 57.46 has merely increased to 58.32%, which is around 2% increase. And the presence of this compression steel made this section more under reinforced. As we can see, the neutral axis shifted up or shifted towards the extreme compression fiber. So the section became more under reinforced. So in nutshell, when we provided random amount of compression steel and its purpose was to hold the stirrup rather than improving the moment of resistance of the section, we got a very marginal increase in moment of resistance of a section. Then we designed a beam to carry moment of resistance is equal to 200 kilonewton meter, for which the depth was restricted to 520 mm. Moment of resistance of a balanced section with this depth was 171.64 kilonewton meter, and we had to provide the extra moment carrying capacity without increasing the depth. So in this case, we provided steel on tension side equal to steel more than that for balance section. In this case, if we would not have provided compression steel, then this section would have become over reinforced. So the purpose of compression steel here was to make the section balance or under reinforced, even if we have provided steel more than that of balance section. The second purpose of this steel was to provide additional compressive force than that for balance section to come up with the surplus moment carrying capacity required. So after this careful calculation of ASC for these two criterion, we got moment of resistance of a section to be equal to 247.2 kilonewton meter. So this moment of resistance is substantially greater than 171.64 kilonewton meter, which is the moment of resistance of balance section. So in nutshell, when we provide tension steel more than that allowed for balance section, then to make the section under reinforced or balanced, we provide compression steel on compression side, not of random amount, but of calculated amount. And in such case, moment carrying capacity of the section significantly enhances above the moment carrying capacity of balance section. So in summary, let us try and think when should we call a section as doubly reinforced section. So summary point number 1, if you look at any reinforced concrete beam for that matter, you are going to have at least 2 bars as anchor bars to hold the stirrup or shear reinforcement. Therefore, in principle, all the RC beams are going to behave, all RC beams are going to behave as doubly reinforced sections. But when the compression steel is provided just to hold the stirrups without its calculation or without its consideration in design or analysis equations, then there is only marginal increase in moment carrying capacity. And in such cases, even though the beam practically behaves as doubly reinforced section, in analysis as well as in design, we can neglect the contribution of compression steel. And therefore, we can consider the beam to be singly reinforced without making much of error in analysis and design. However, when the depth of the beam is restricted, and we need to resist moment greater than moment of resistance of a balanced section, then in that case we provide AST greater than that required for balanced section, and then to make the section balanced or under reinforced, we provide compression steel with compression steel in such a way that its area is arrived at by calculations or by using analysis of design equations. In such case, we get large increase in moment of resistance over the moment of resistance of balanced section. And in such case, not only practically the beam behaves as doubly reinforced section, in analysis as well as in design, we consider such beam as doubly reinforced. Now let us look at what are the scenarios in which we will design the beam as doubly reinforced. So if we are to design the beam as doubly reinforced, the compelling conditions would be restrictions on depth, restrictions on depth, either from headroom considerations or from any other considerations. So if the depth is restricted and we need to design the beam to carry moment greater than moment of resistance of balance section with that restricted depth, then we are ought to go for doubly reinforced section. Second scenario is when the beam is subjected to reversal of stresses. In the seismic event, the beam may be subjected to reversal of stresses, and therefore the compression steel in one load case can act as a tension steel in another load case. But mind you, if we are not considering the contribution of steel on compression side corresponding to a particular load case, still we are designing it as a singly reinforced section, but it looks as if it is doubly reinforced section. So I think we are now absolutely clear when the contribution of ASC is acknowledged in the analysis or design equations of computing the moment of resistance of a section, then that section by design is doubly reinforced. And if we are not considering the contribution of compression steel in design equations for a particular load case, then we are going to consider it as singly reinforced section by design. In nutshell, all the reinforced concrete beams that we come across are going to have steel on compression and tension side. Therefore, all the beams in principle are going to be doubly reinforced beams. But in design, if the contribution of ASC is considered in design equations for moment of resistance, then only we consider the beam as doubly reinforced. So with these remarks, we will conclude our discussion on doubly reinforced sections. And in the next short video, we will begin with something called as flange sections or T and L sections. Thank you.